After visiting my mother and Alex and some friends in North Carolina, it was time to venture on. This meant an early start toward Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where we had reservations for the night. As it happened, we were only about an hour behind Hurricane Ida. Pulling into Gettysburg, we saw leaves and limbs scattered all about the roadway and puddles of standing water. We were thankful not to have been any closer to the storm than we were. The next day, the weather was gorgeous. So after looking around the campsite at Gettysburg, we decided it was time to book a trip to the Amish country. Our tour included a movie about the Amish history, a drive through the countryside, and a staged Amish home. It was great, and we topped the day off with a nice meal in the quaint Amish village of Bird in Hand. Learning about the Amish people and their lifestyle was very interesting. I would recommend this highly to anyone planning a trip to Pennsylvania. What is different about that? The following morning, we decided to cut our stay in Gettysburg a day short and at least make our way closer to Maine. We decided Albany, New York would be a good location to stay, so we made a reservation, packed up our stuff, and headed off. The weather was beautiful and the drive was nice. The countryside in New York State was amazing. It was surprising to me. As we drove, a car passed us with a North Carolina license plate. Upon closer inspection, we saw that the car was purchased in Lenoir, North Carolina, our former hometown. Small world, huh? We checked into our hotel in Albany and soon discovered Albany was hosting a Scottish band competition, and several of the competing bands were staying at our hotel. What a treat! After supper, we watched as they practiced in the courtyard out back. The next morning, we headed onward to our destination state, Maine. We arrived in Naples, Maine at our bed and breakfast mid-afternoon, checked in, and went for a stroll in the small tourist town. Music and supper was at Rick's Cafe, only a short walk from where we were staying. The food was great. The following day, we took a paddle boat tour of Long Lake. The scenery was nice, and several well-known folks have homes on this lake, including Joan London and Stephen King. Our supper that evening consisted of crab stuffed haddock at a restaurant called Captain Jack's. So, for the record, crab stuffed haddock is amazing. One more sleep at the bed and breakfast in Naples, and off we go to our rental house an hour away. So stay tuned for house hunting in Maine.